What's going on, everybody? Hopefully you're doing well. Let me figure out this little music bit here. What's happening? Hopefully you're doing well. Different camera. Sorry for the all of a sudden there. I'm sure that was shocking to many of you. Let me just get this. Now I know why I had this thing configured the way that I did. Where are we here? And there we go. Whoa. Oh, and that's not helpful either. All right. All right. Well, let's just go ahead and lower this. And all right, let's see if this works. Hey, everybody. I haven't had a chance to really listen to my audio, so I'm listening to it here. I'm getting issues from all my streaming platforms that we're not getting enough video to maintain a smooth stream. So let's see. Okay, one of the things that I changed is I am now streaming this to Instagram. So that might be the issue, is that I'm sending an additional four megs up, and lots of issues here. Let me pull open YouTube. Is this live? This can't be live. This is way behind. All right. It seems clear on here, but it's definitely given me feedback saying this isn't good enough. It's not enough data. So cool. Love that. Maybe I need to change my stream settings to be not 1080. It's dropping and buffering really bad. Okay. All right, I'm going to kill the Instagram feed. Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm going to kill the Instagram feed. And then let's see if that does anything here. If it frees up any space. If not, I'm going to have to stream this down to... Hey, Winnipeg, what's going on? Welcome to the show, Randy. And yeah, it's dropping and buffering. Okay. So let me think about how to do this, because my service at the house is not great. Yeah, wow, that's some serious bufferage. And that's probably me showing you it buffering while it's buffering. Okay, so... Okay, sending data again. So now let's see what happens. They're all showing all red. Of course, during the countdown, when the bitrate's really low, it seemed to be just fine. So I've lowered this down to 3 megs to see if that will help. I got to wait for it to start over again here. So let me see. All right. So I'm hearing, now I'm hearing the beginning of my second show. Is the audio off? Yeah, the audio sync is off. That's weird. Nothing has really changed. I mean, I've reset up this computer and, got it all up and running. But it could also, well, no, that's probably not what it is. So different camera, and the reason for a different camera is because I'm having a hard time finding my DSLR. And I was getting annoyed because I was trying to... Looks better. Looks like not many drop frames now. Okay. We'll hold to that, and I will turn off my audio on here. Let me check the audio settings, though, to see if maybe the delay was changed. I can't imagine. Let's go here. Microphone settings. I'm in vMix. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's do like this. Okay. Check 1, 2. All right. We will watch that in about 30 seconds when that refreshes. And I don't know if I'm. Oh, that's weird. Oh, there we go. Okay. So the thing about Instagram streaming is it only shows the vertical video, right? It doesn't show wide. I don't see a way to change that. No, the video's ahead. Oh, that's weird. Wait, what? Okay. So I don't need to delay it, apparently. I mean, I don't need to delay it very much. So we'll check again. This is so weird. All right. All right. This is where I discovered. Now, I hate the coloration of this camera. Part of the issue is I've got a big giant window right here in my new office space. And so I'll fix that on Monday. All right, let me see. I'm going to make the change here on you. It's still delayed. That's very strange. Okay, let's just go to 0 milliseconds and see what happens. But yeah, back to this camera. So this is just one of those Logitech 920s, just like they're legendary, right? And I can't seem to find my Canon camera in all the moving stuff. You'd think I would have kept that somewhere close, but I didn't end up doing that. So it's all good. All right, I'm going to change. Now I'm watching the YouTube feed, so I'm going to change it again. That's on. Yeah, there's no delay required. What on earth? Why is that? Oh, you know what? Maybe it was because of the Canon camera. So I'm using a direct USB camera now, and all of this is straight up USB off of my sound rig and everything. But it's all right here. Okay, so all right, you guys tell me what you think. I'll go based on whatever it is that you guys say. So I live in Middle Tennessee now. I've moved from Clarkston, Michigan, which is where my home base was long ago. And now I live in Clarkston, or I don't live in Clarkston. Now I live in Middle Tennessee. And Middle Tennessee is a beautiful place. I'm just going to put that out there, that it is stunning most of the time. But I live in a little town in the middle of nowhere. Actually, I can show you. Well, okay, let's do this. So I live in this like middle of nowhere town called Bonacqua. And so if I just wanted to show you this real quick, this is Bonacqua, Tennessee. And as you see, there's not very many things around. I'm trying to do this so that the Instagrammers can also see this, at least see the map. So yeah, it's quite a ways away in the middle of nowhere. And that's okay because it's on a major highway. So, but this is the city of Bonacqua. My house is actually here on 840. And 840 is this just like wide open, divided 4-lane highway that runs south of Nashville. And then Nashville's up here. So we're way down south and then we go way west. And actually 840 comes up, back to, comes back north a fair bit until it meets up with 40. So 840 meets up with 40. And then 40 goes into a city called Dixon, which is kind of the major city near us. Because Bonacqua and those other places are pretty small. These cities, Fairview is over here, so we're kind of between Fairview and Bonacqua on 840. So that's where I am. And it's a new build, this house that I'm in. And so there's not really much by way of like services and stuff that are already established out here. This is very much the country. They had to bulldoze part of a forest to build the neighborhood they're building with my houses. And so the locals, I don't know if they're thrilled or not, but I probably not. I have met several of my neighbors and they're quite nice. and seem to be, very welcoming to the area. But it is definitely a yeah, it's the country, that's for sure. Now, I've lived in the country before when I was growing up, and we kind of lived in the country when I lived in Clarkston. So it was in a subdivision that was north of the city, but this is way more rural than that. So the only internet connection I have is Starlink. And fourth, hence why I have basically taken a month off of streaming, and that has probably killed my viewership. I've had to take a month off of streaming just to get the internet and everything back together. So once I kind of get all of my ducks in a row, and we've been putting our new house together, and so that's been a treat to try and unbox and find everything again. But the once we get our kind of all the pieces together, then this will start to look like a normal show again. What I was saying earlier with the coloration of this, like, see how dark it is? Like, it's so dark. Okay, well, the 920 Logitech camera is a great camera, except when you have a giant window right here. So there's this giant window that's right here in front, like right next to me, which is providing a lot of this ambient light. If I put my hand in front, you can see the significant shadows that thing casts. And then I have my key light, which is, you can see in my glasses, is also over here on the side of my screen, which is basically just providing a fill right now because this light is the primary. Well, it's very overcast today, and the light keeps changing. And so one would think, well, it's a Logitech camera. Why not just set it up with, the auto exposure and just let the camera kind of adjust things as the sun changes? And that's quite the idea, except when you turn on auto exposure, I turn into a polar bear. So that's not going to work because this is what auto exposure thinks it's supposed to look like. So I don't know if I've got like a really bad, I don't know. Let me just change this here. I don't know if I've got like a super, like maybe this unit's busted or whatever, but that is not an acceptable exposure level. And the features on this are pretty limited. No shocker there, I know. But the features on this camera are pretty limited in terms of coloration. And so it is going to be what it is for a bit. But this will at least allow me to, attend meetings and stuff. I still work remote for my job. And so much of what I do is now sitting at this desk. Praise Alleluia, though, that I have this desk back because I've operated for more than a month without it and without this computer. And that's been really tricky and challenging. So I'm so happy to have all my machines back. And yeah, it's good. It's good to be back up and running. So once we figure out how to navigate the Starlink bandwidth issues, then we'll be able to really kind of get up and running. But the news stream today is happening over on Instagram. So if you're an Instagram follower of mine over at John O'Canute, you will see the vertical video live stream of me happening right over there right now. So that's cool stuff. Okay, so the new things that have basically been, okay, so one, I got to control this light source, right? So that's the big piece right now is I need to get this light kind of, closed. So the goal is to buy some blinds for this, some automatic blinds, buy blinds for that. I also ran into an issue with this new room. So this room is on its own breaker. It's got 15 amps, I think, on it. And that's great, except I draw more than 15 amps for this rig. So I'm not too sure what to do about that because the whole room is on the same breaker. And everything runs just fine until I plug in my backlights. And when I plug in my backlights, this computer shuts off and my battery backup kicks on and the breakers trip downstairs. So the good news is I'm not really planning on this being my permanent setup. I'm not planning on my office being up in this. This is a bonus room that I'm in right now. I'm hoping to build a space, and I'm hoping that will work better for me in the future. But as it is right now, I haven't built that space. And so I don't have a room in this house that space is going to be. I'm going to have to build another structure to do that, and that's going to maybe be very expensive. So I'm navigating that now, trying to figure out what that looks like and where I'm going to put that on my property. I have an acre And so I've got some options. I would really like to not put it where the second garage might go, but time will tell. Well, I need to like walk my property and figure out where I can put it and what works and what the city will allow and everything. It's going to be a work shed, but the back of my lot, I have very little grass compared to what I used to have when I lived in Michigan, and grass doesn't grow in Tennessee in the summer, I've been told. So that's fine. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm thinking I've got a yard of grass, but not a very big one. And then I've got another, I don't know, probably half an acre that's in the woods. And so I'm really tempted to build the work shed in the woods and do it down there. So yeah, good stuff. Randy says, more than 15 amps for live streaming? What kind of lighting do you have going on in there? Okay, well, it's not the lighting. It is the lighting that trips the breaker, but it's not the lighting that's the cause. I have a huge rig in here that's drawing a lot of amperage. I've got that's drawing a lot of power. I actually don't know, and I probably should put a meter on how much I'm drawing. It's probably 13 amps, but anyways, I've got 3 monitors on this computer, another monitor on that one. I've got a sound rig, which includes a X32 core. I've got a 286S DBX microphone preamp, and then I have a Euphoria UMC 1820. That's in one rack. Then I'm running this actual computer, which has dual GPUs and a bunch of things in it. So that's drawing, that's a max of, I think it's a 700 watt power supply in that thing, maybe 800. I can't remember. It's been a while. And then I've got a Mac Mini, and I've got a lot of like external hard drives, and I've got a backup power supply for the Mac because that's a company computer. So yeah, I'm plugging in a lot. Oh yeah, I've got 2 sets of speakers. I've got a powered table. I've got there's a Samsung printer over here over my shoulder. We've also got a scanner that's now it's a Canon scanner, high capacity scanner. Now they're not all on all the time, right? But it's definitely drawing some power. So, I've got this light. I've got a new camera. That's all USB. And then I've got a bass guitar amp that sits here that I've used to play my bass guitar. And I've got various things. So I don't know why the lights are tripping the breaker, but when I plug them in, they definitely trip the breaker. So I'm going to have to figure out, maybe I can run a cord or something for lighting from another room, from maybe my son's room or something, and then just do it that way. Are you running a truss full of 575 watt ellipsodials? No, but these 2 floor lights that I have, which are actually outdoor rated lights, they're LEDs, multicolored. They're 80 watts a piece. And so we used to have this issue at Bird Dog when I was running the show to the studio. Whenever I would run the show and then somebody would use the microwave, it would trip the breaker. And use the microwave and use the water kettle or whatever. So, obviously those 2 things are going to trip the breaker. But they, anyways, we'd always go over. But it seems like 160 watts on these 2 lights are causing an issue. Today I was using this machine, and the lights came on time because they're timed, obviously, for the show and for some meetings and stuff that I have. So they came on, and they ran for about a minute and a half, and then it tripped the breaker. So obviously the power, once they like kind of got up to full power, then that was an issue. I might be able to like turn them on low and not have to draw all 80 watts. I guess we could try that, but just run a dimmer beach from another room. I will run just another cable for now. Again, when you get into a new house, you get into a new place, new studio, whatever, then it's some of it is about setting it up for the future, and some of it is about making it work today. So the good news is I'm going to have the lighting controlled by Monday, and so the next show we should have blinds in here. Those all, of course, connect to my smart house now, because I decided when I move, I'm going to buy the blinds that I want. And so I do have automated blinds downstairs that go off on time and, wake us up and everything. or open when we should be awake. So if we're sleeping in or something like that. But there's some blinds. It's weird. There are windows in my master closet and my daughter's, who's upstairs, and so there's a window downstairs and a windows upstairs that are kind of above each other. And it's strange that she has a window in her closet. She's 10, so I'm not terribly concerned about that now. But I did put an automatic blind in there. I was like, nah, we're not gonna. It can be open during the day, but when she's sleeping or getting dressed or whatever, it'll be closed. So that's nice to have all that automated. I'm slowly integrating my smart house back to what it once was in Clarkston. That was quite a job to pull all of that stuff out of that house. Man, I had forgotten how many hours I had spent setting that up. And it, like all things, like I'm living in boxes. You can see boxes all around me. I'm living in boxes, but yeah, we definitely. You just work at them a few days at a time. Like I had a friend of mine who helped me move in. And he just said, well, the nice thing is that you just work at it over time. You don't have to, Rome wasn't built in a day. So that's the plan, is we're going to just do a couple a day, try and get the room to. I rushed to get my computer together because I love working on this thing and having I have the Mac over here off to the side, but I rarely use that screen. I remote into it here on this machine because I've got 3 screens on here, and then I can just do things remotely and send them up to the cloud, but keep it all business related on that machine. And then this one is more my personal stuff that I use. So it's nice to kind of have that flexibility. Anyway, let me go back. Let me see. Yeah, so the Instagram live video looks pretty good. On vMix it looks like washed out, and I think on YouTube it looks a little washed out, but whatever. Oh, now it's saying, we're not receiving enough video to maintain smooth. Yes, you are. You were for quite a while. Maybe it's Starlink is fluctuating, but man, that Starlink, I can go into that a little bit. Oh yeah, now, okay, now Instagram looks washed out. So the lighting keeps changing out of this window. That's what I was saying earlier. And the auto exposure thing does not work very well. So if I tone down the gain here, or if I turn up the gain and I bring the exposure down, okay, let's try that. And let's see what that looks like over on Yoink, on YouTube and Instagram. So we're going to wait for that to come through. Anyway, Starlink. Let's talk about that for a minute, because that has been an experience. So I ordered the Starlink stuff when we first moved in. It was like the second day we were here. Actually, it was July 4th. And it was the first full day we were here. I ordered it because I got looking around and realized that there was really no internet service. There's an old AT&T coax line that runs outside my house, but apparently it's for like 10 down and like 1 up. So I wasn't going to connect to that. The builder of the home said, we brought in a, Verizon Wi-Fi, and that worked great for us. And I'm like, well, my requirements are a little bit more. I require a little more like consistency than what will, Verizon Wi-Fi. And if anybody has experience with Verizon Wi-Fi, I'd be interested to know. But then Starlink was the other option. And I looked around. Of course, our address isn't registered with anybody, so they're processing that now through the county. But it took a long time just to find out, like to figure out what we could do. Well, Starlink is available anywhere in the U.S. and Canada, for that matter. So for those of you who are watching, it's almost global, but it's available in the U.S. and in Canada. And so I figured, well, in Tennessee, it's not the fastest speeds. As more satellites get put up there and as time goes along, those speeds will increase. But for now, it does what we need it to do. I can get probably 100 down and probably 10 or 15 up pretty consistently. It fluctuates a lot. Of course, the Starlink app is wildly overblown. It says like 250 megs, which they must be prioritizing the speed traffic, because I find that not to be true. Because when you go to speedtest.net or other speed test sources, it's somewhere between 70 and 100 down, which is fine. Although, as many of you know, what I do for a living is not necessarily download speeds only. it is uploads as well. So the upload thing is equally as important to me as the download speeds. I would happily take less downloads for more uploads, but that's just not the way it works. They don't run it that way. So I'm not too sure why uploads are not prioritized, especially because so many people are streaming and are doing a lot of, video editing, and that's just the way that the nature of a lot of business is a lot of us are still remote or are choosing to be remote full time. So most of my job is going to be done from this space until I build another space, but I'm not going to be going into an office until we do recording. Now, I do go into the soundstage area a couple times a week. I will be going tonight to do some music recording, and then on Sunday, of course, when we do our live production. So that's been good, but it's also kind of far away from where I live. And that's not entirely unintentional. I do like living further away, because then it means that we're not just constantly popping over, to do things. We purposefully plan out our visits, and that seems to be working really well. So we'll be going tonight, do some recording. We'll also be going on Sunday to do our production. Now, to give you an idea as to where we're at here. So I know I already showed you where the house was, but here's that map again. And, we're between Bonacqua and Fairview, which is the bigger town. This is the marker where my home is. So then my office, or my job, is actually over here in Brentwood. So this is the actual place that we do our recording. So that's a 45-minute drive on a nice clear Sunday morning, which at 8:40, there's never any traffic. Now, when we were headed to Sunday morning last week to do our production, there was an accident going the other way, going westbound on 840, and traffic was stopped for quite a ways. And it was a burned out car. I don't know what happened, but it was definitely a burned out car. So hopefully that doesn't happen too often. But I have switched from Waze to from Waze to Apple Maps. And part of the reason for that, and we can talk about this later, I guess, but part of the reason for that was because of security reasons. I had started doing some research into, what's more secure, what services are more secure. And Apple actually comes out fairly high on the list compared to Google, obviously. Now Google owns Waze. And so one of my concerns was just, I like less information going up to Google. And so I changed over to Apple Maps. And I was very hesitant to do that because I was not confident in Apple Maps. But I have been pleasantly surprised. I've been using it for about 3 to 4 months now. And we used it exclusively when we moved down to Nashville. I was driving a lot. I can tell you all about those trips in a little bit. But I was driving a lot and used it fairly exclusively during those trips, and it performed really well. So I really like that a lot, and would recommend that to anybody. Yeah, man, I only have 300 down, but this plan includes 125 megs up, and that's the most upstream I can get. So that's my plan. Yeah, I would love to have a chat with Starlink and just say hey, could you guys prioritize my uplinks and not? It's okay if you need to throttle back my downloads, but I really need my uploads to be faster because I'm doing large file transfers. So I don't know if that's possible with Starlink. I don't know, if that makes a lot of sense or if they're even able to do it. But I did install the Starlink. So it was sitting on my back porch for 2 weeks. And then I ordered a pole mount, and I ordered an actual pole to put it on, and then I mounted it to the side of the house. So we're going to have to wait and see when high winds come, how it behaves and if it handles the high winds okay. But we are mounted to the side of the house, and it's no longer an eyesore on the back of my deck. Now, it might be an eyesore on the back of the house, but whatever. I do need to do some cable management, and I do need to run the cables into the house through the wall. Right now, they just go under a door. So, again, baby steps. It's like that thing where it's it takes a little bit of time to get everything situated and done. So, yeah, we're in good shape there otherwise. But here's hoping that we can, kind of get that sorted out. Now, the sun is coming out again. And like I said, that auto exposure really stinks on this webcam. And I don't have control over this light. I will next week. So let's just go ahead and dial this down just a smidge so I don't look completely washed out. and we'll see how that goes. All right. So, what have I missed? There's been a lot that's happened in the political landscape since we were offline, but we won't go there. We will, you know, well, anyways, I can tell you about kind of what we're doing over at Safe Harbor, which is now where I work. Which I've been working there since the beginning of the year full time, since I signed off with Bird Dog. But last week we did a recording session with a guy that was in town, and my wife was, sang along with him. We have another recording session happening today, which with a different artist, and so that's been fun to kind of have some time to build some content, but also, like play around with things. We have been unpacking this house nonstop, so that's been kind of on my brain, and everywhere you look, there's a box, right? So we're just trying to do 2 or 3 boxes a day, each of us. So my wife and I, but there's probably like 400 boxes in the house. So it's going to take a few days to get through all of that. We also have a garage full of boxes. And so we'll have to sort through that, and some furniture that needs like refinishing and stuff. So yeah, there are projects to do. That's for sure. And the sooner I could get a workspace, the better. One thing I did not realize how difficult it would be is to find guys that would quote us the building the sheds. Now I've got one guy that I'm pretty confident on that I think would work well. He quoted me a space that I kind of sent him over. I need to revise the plan because it has changed since then, but I need to revise that plan. But yeah, the next big thing, I guess, is trying to get that workspace set up, because we definitely, I need to move this into a proper studio space, and I want to start building that studio space. So the sooner I can make that happen, the better. Now, I will say this, it is a whole lot quieter and a whole lot cooler in this space than it was in Clarkston. My Clarkston office did not have good ventilation. This house, they prioritize air conditioning in Tennessee, because today is the first day since we've been here, and that's been since the beginning of the month. Today is the first day since we've been here that it's not been like 88 degrees or hotter. So today we're getting up to 84, which means the air conditioning doesn't have to work quite as hard. But we don't keep the air conditioning super cold either. But the house seems to stay really cool. So brand new house, brand new installation. It's in a good situation. It's like in a good, anyways, yeah, it works well for us. But we're definitely, this is weird. Yeah, it's a good situation for us, brand new house and everything, and that works really well. All righty. Let's just go ahead and do this little number. Somebody's trying to spam us on. Oh, yeah, and that reminds me, I do run Nightbot here. So is there a way I can... Nightbot runs, but I'm logged into a different account. So if I log into YouTube and I go in here, sign into Nightbot. All right, now we can set up proper spam protection. Although I've already gone in here and all right. So this is up and running. Cool. So yeah, hopefully I haven't missed a whole lot. Now we have been using, and I almost pulled the trigger on a new camera. We have been using at the soundstage those Blackmagic Studio G2s, and they are really nice. Like, they do a really nice job of, let me close this down here. So Well, you know what? I can actually do one better. Um, I'm just going to open up our Resi stuff here. And we can just keep the audio muted, but I can show you. So we do stream in 1080p, and I'll make this full screen, and then I will share this over. So this is our main stream that we use, and it even looks better than my camera currently, which not surprising, because this camera is only 1080, and these ones that we're using are 4K. But these studio cameras from Blackmagic are really amazing. Like, they just look so good, and nice even picture. You know, not the motion. We're sending this up in 1080p 60, and that's going to YouTube now in 1080p 60. So that always looks really good, and yeah, it always is like really nice. So a big fan of these. What I would love to find is a comparison video with these cameras, the G2 Studios, and the new what is it called, like a micro camera or something like that, Blackmagic design. And I actually almost bought one. Oh man, it's getting bright again here, so I gotta like constantly be adjusting. This is really annoying. I can't wait to control this with some blinds. So yeah, over here on that Blackmagic site, where are we here? Cameras, products. And I almost bought one because I'm kind of in a place where I'm like, I kind of would like to, oh, here we go. Micro studio camera, 4K G2. Now, from what I understand, it's a different sensor than, you know, it's a different sensor than the studios, but it's still a 4K image. I might be wrong about that sensor, though. Somebody help me out here. The issue with this is I'd have to buy this camera, an EF mount, and then some way to get it into vMix. And shocker, I don't have any. I don't have any NDI conversion stuff or anything like that, which I know, shame on me. But I need to get something to capture that. So one of these days. Hey, man. Hey, what's going on, Jeremy? How are you? Yeah, it has been so long. Well, it's been so long because I have been offline, not because you have missed anything. So I don't know if you know this, though, that I live in Tennessee now. And so, yeah, I'm down here in Middle Tennessee, and it's going pretty well. So good stuff. Good to see you. Hopefully you're doing well. What are you up to? Anyway, I wanted to get one of these. I thought about just buying it recently, but because I like the SDI out, first of all. I kind of like that. But then if I'm going to get SDI out, then I got to get an SDI capture card, and then that's probably like another $1,000. So this purchase would end up being $2,000 before I even got it home. And then I'd have to get an EF to multi-third or micro 4/3 lens mount. And so it just seemed like, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth all of that investment to try something out. I really like the way that the cameras look. Like, this is Resi, and this is that 1080p output that we're using. It's actually 4K. It's a 4K sensor, and everything comes back 4K, and then it's 1080 out from our, I think it's our Blackmagic does it. Our ATEM does it down to 1080, and then it goes directly to Resi, our Resi encoder, which then gets sent up to the cloud. So it's a great picture, but and obviously looks nicer than this one because this one's all blown out. The other thing is, with this camera, there is an option to change the contrast, but it's very artificial. It doesn't seem right. Something doesn't seem right about it, and I can tone down the saturation, but like the it seems all very digital changes. So like the contrast, see, like that doesn't. I don't know. There's no spot in the middle where it all kind of works. The sharpness is either like blurry. This is 107 on a scale of 0 to 255. It's like a little bit blurry or a little over sharpened. There's no real like happy medium. So I'm super critical of cameras now apparently because I yeah, I've just worked with good stuff for a long time. Yep, I knew that you had moved. I'll be passing through I-40 on Sunday, bringing my kids to college. Oh, right on. Uh-oh. We're buffering. I don't like that. What college are you taking them to? I'm very close to I-40. So I live on 840, just south of there. Very cool. Hopefully, let me see here. I'm also monitoring the show. Am I live? Yeah, I'm live here. So I will have a listen. Right on. Yes. So my link to Starlink is a little bit is not the fastest connection, we'll say, but still the best thing I can get out here. So hey, they're going to be going to a school in Tulsa. Oh, cool. Very cool. Well, enjoy your trip down I-70. Or I'm sorry, I-40. I don't know why I said 70. It's a small Bible college. Right on. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Let me guess. Oklahoma Christian? No, wait. I might actually know that school. Let me see. Oklahoma Christian University? Nope. Education. Wait. That's in Oklahoma. In Tulsa. Hang on, I'm gonna find it. Oral Roberts? I don't know that one. Tulsa Christian. TCU. So yeah, the ones in Tulsa are ORU, TCU, Oklahoma Wesleyan University. You said passing through. I'm bringing my kids, like multiple kids are going to school, or just one kid. I guess like you told me the other day that you had teenagers, right? Oh, stream is poor. Oh, come on. Viewers will experience buffering. Fantastic. Love that. I'm still receiving the stream. It's only 3 megs. I don't know how. Maybe Elon is throttling me down because I'm not sending enough, or maybe I'm doing too much. So if we close down let's close down some of these Chrome tabs and see if that makes it any better. It says Twitch is having issues. Sorry, everybody over on Twitch. Yes, 2 of my kids are in college. I haven't had any buffering on YouTube at all. Yeah, I'm watching that as well on YouTube in 2 different places. Oh, I'm frozen now. Definitely frozen. Just buffered. Yep. I looked down and I was frozen. That's funny. This is going to be a problem. I'm going to need better internet speeds to do what I do around here. I mean, shouldn't surprise anybody that rural Tennessee, there are talks of them redoing the road, which is in really rough shape. And once they redo the road, then they'll probably put a fiber line down. So that's what I'm hoping for. You need to use Resi over Starlink. It's true. I probably do. I probably do. You're right. It's funny, in vMix, each of my streams are reporting one at a time that they're going slow. So now it's Instagram's turn to have drop packets, which is what I'm now witnessing right now. Oh dear. Well, it is what it is, unfortunately. I can lower the bitrate again after the show, but yeah, it's going to, unfortunately, all I can do as of right now. The good news is I have about 9 minutes, and then I'll let you guys go. Now, the time, hopefully the show is at the same time that you're used to it being. It's an hour earlier here in Tennessee, so I'll try and do a 10 o'clock show. That's no problem. Oh, stream is healthy now. So thanks, YouTube. Please, I don't know what is going on here, but it is what it is. Now Instagram's back too, so the satellites must be passing over top now. I definitely need that 2-minute buffer though from Resi, so that's for sure. All right. Well, we're going to try and be a little more consistent, and I am going to reach out now to John Hinkle again. I had talked to him before I left Clarkston and asked him if he had a switch that I could borrow or use. And I will reach out to him today and try and get that arranged. All right, let's see if he still has that switch. Boom. Good stuff. Hey, let's connect after the show. Hit me up on LinkedIn. Will do. Will do. I'll send you a message right now. Yoink. Alrighty. Well, it's an overcast day here in Tennessee, and we definitely need some rain. It's supposed to rain a lot next week, but it has been really dry for about 2.5 weeks, and so everybody's worried about their plants outside. I've had one tree die in my front yard, but I suspect that is because of the trauma of the house being built right behind it. So I think that one's got to come down. But yeah, we are chipping away at getting this house put together. And this, like I said, this won't be my permanent studio setup. Hopefully I'll have lights and everything one of these days. But this is a pretty big carpeted room. It's where one of the TVs is going to go. We have a big L-shaped couch in here, and it'll probably be a guest room for somebody when we have guests. But yeah, I'm just kind of getting things put together and getting the studio back. So I am still alive. I'm still here, and still very much interested in navigating some of this technology stuff. So whatever you guys have going on, let me know. Let me know what's happening, and we can definitely navigate some of those items. I am really heavy into doing like helping out small installations and whatever. I've actually been doing some side work for a couple of churches. A lot of it has been remote. I haven't flown out anywhere. There's another guy that I was talking to before I left Clarkston about doing like remote courtroom streams. So yeah, we're definitely, now that I'm settled again, hopefully we can make this all happen again. So Hey, what's going on, Chad? Hey, Chad. Hey, John. I'm in Rhode Island doing some, I'm assuming, tennis streams is what you're referring to. That's great. Welcome back. Thank you. Very excited to be back online. Hoping that my streams hold out in terms of viewership. I'm trying the Instagram live gig. I don't particularly like the vertical video issue, and we keep buffering over there, so it doesn't quite like the data stream that I'm sending it. But it is what it is. I can't really do anything about that, so I can maybe I should try and refresh the screen. Let me see if it comes up, because we are currently live. Did it just die? Did my live stream just die on Instagram? Or is it still on? Let's find out. It reports that it's still live. Oh, live video has ended. Fantastic. All right. Well, I'll kill that one then. Because it's not going. And yeah, we'll just go Twitch, and which will probably alleviate some of the stuff going on. But oh, I'm on the tennis channel in the US. Right on. That's cool. That's pretty exciting. Hey, I guess you will be somewhat limited in bringing in guests now. Will I? Wait, I will? I mean, I could always use vMix Caller if I needed to. It shouldn't be too limited, other than the fact that, well, oh yeah, I used to do it over StreamYard, right? Which I tried that. What did I do? I did that one time. It was messed up because I was trying to do like StreamYard and vMix and everything. I just upgraded vMix to 27.0081, and I'm hoping vMix Caller is better. I watched Tom Sinclair yesterday. He had a live stream, and he was interviewing a guy that he was on one of his original shows, and he was bringing him in vMix Caller, but it was coming in at like 360, and I like StreamYard just because you can send your feed up to StreamYard, and then you can go like multiple places. So when I do have guests, then when I have guests, I'll use StreamYard because that's web hosted, and I can just go up to StreamYard and then out to my platforms from there. Well, with the connectivity like what you're having experienced, yes, touche. I definitely will need to do that. We'll need to figure out something, but I would probably use something like StreamYard. The new vMix has direct Zoom integration per attendee. Oh, that's cool. So maybe we'll have to investigate that a little bit. We can see what the Zoom options are for web controllers, audios, external outputs. Is that what we're talking about? Decoders. Maybe it's under decoders. No. Performance, yada yada yada. Outputs. Well, I'll navigate that. I'll look into that because that might be a good idea to try and figure out what options we have for bringing in guests once the show kind of gets underway again. Yeah, that'd be good. All right, well, live show has ended on Instagram, so I'm not going to bother hanging around there anymore. Back to the YouTube feed, and I actually haven't even looked at the Twitch feed. Oh, I guess I did look at it briefly, and it was going over there. It's not a whole lot of activity over on Twitch right now, but it looks pretty good. I mean, the feed looks pretty good on Twitch, so I'll stick with that. And then the feed that I'm getting back from YouTube is, we're just going to put that on auto. But it's weird. I've never had it where the YouTube feed keeps getting out of sync with, like when I switch between tabs, then it seems to pause the video on YouTube and then it resumes it when I come back to the tab. But that's weird that yeah, it keeps kind of messing up. Hey, now the other option I could go to, because vMix now naturally integrates with it, is Twitter. And let me tell you something. When the world was on fire the other day, I definitely was on Twitter way more than anywhere else looking for my news. I don't know if that, I mean, it's not Twitter anymore, right? I don't know if anyone else felt that way about. That's weird. Cancel. Hang on, something's up. But I was on Twitter or X more than anywhere else because I was trying to find out news, and I felt like that was the place that made the most sense for me to try and find my news and stuff. So, do I have a Twitter account? Okay. Let me see if this works. No. One moment, please. Oh. Oh, I see. Okay. I'm not going to be able to help with that Twitter thing right now, but we can definitely. I need to get on there. I thought I had a Jono Canute Twitter account. I know I had a Bird Dog one that was just for Bird Dog support, but it appears that maybe I don't have one for Jono Canute, so I'll just go ahead and put this in here because I should. And let's see what username it gives me. Hey, what's happening? Oh, that's right. With Twitter, you need to have a paid account in order to stream to it. That's why. Because I was looking into this. Okay, sorry. I was looking into this because the place that I work for now, we stream to platforms all the time. And so I wanted to find out what it would take to stream to Twitter, because Twitter seems to be Twitter X, whatever we're calling it now. We're calling it X, I guess, because that's its name. But yes, we are trying to stream everywhere we can. And a lot of people go to Twitter for their news, and that's their primary social hub. So I looked into that. You need a paid subscription, which is like $15 a month or something like that, to actually stream to Twitter, which is fine. But we, it's a lot for that. It seems like a lot for what it is that I'm trying to do here at home. Probably would not need to happen that way, but deactivate your account. Anyway, we'll navigate this. I'm going to log out of that account. And then, yes, that logs me back into this one. So, good times. All right. I'm going to sign off at Twitter because there's a lot of garbage on there too. Oh man, I was thinking of dropping off to go somewhere else, but I'm sure am glad to hear this chat about vMix and StreamYard. That was great. Thanks. Hey, what's Twitter? I heard the same about actual reliable news. Yeah, I forget where it was that I heard that they were like, I basically went to, I didn't like tune into any of the radio stations. I just went to Twitter and like looked for the community notes. And I find that fascinating. That a social media platform such as what Twitter was has turned into the type of reputation that it has. So very fascinating to hear that. But yeah, we can talk about the integration of StreamYard and vMix. The way that I did it, I think, was I outputted my vMix via USB, a USB output, vMix, what's it called? And I just fired up StreamYard and sent that feed to StreamYard and then invited people to StreamYard and then just sent that stuff off to my social media platforms. So it's a shame that StreamYard won't send you back a feed. Like, it's a shame that it won't send you back a USB input or something like that. And then you could then put that into, say, vMix and send that up. But yeah, now that I'm not like buying paid accounts, I'm not like spending my own money to buy a StreamYard subscription, which is the last time the last subscription I had with them was like $290 or something like that for the year, which isn't insane. But if you're only doing it, for your own purposes, and you're not actually streaming for a company or something like that where you have an expense account, then it becomes more of a becomes a little bit more tricky. But hey, I gotta jump. Great to see you settling in. Thank you, sir. We'll see you more consistently nowadays. Planning to do this more often, so come on back, and I will have some theme shows. We'll review some gear, and we'll talk about my setup and a bunch of things. So we'll get those on the docket as soon as I do get that M4250, hopefully I'll get it. Then we'll do some updating and discovery, and a whole several shows on integrating that and having those available on the channel too. So always great to see you, Jeremy, and everybody. Thank you so much for hanging around. I do got to go too. I got 2 little kids that are on their screens right now, but it's been an hour, so we probably should have them get off of those. And I'm also supposed to get some work done today. So I've got half of my work done today. Now I need to do another half, plus some stuff that I got behind on over the past couple of weeks while moving down here. So some higher priority stuff that needs to be done. But looking forward to seeing more of you guys. Be sure that you come back right here. Thursdays, 11 o'clock Eastern time, 10 o'clock Central time. And we'll hang out once again, as always. And bring your questions, any sort of, if I don't know the answer, we'll throw it out to the crowd. I still have some NDI experience, so feel free, while it's relevant, bring those questions along. And we'll definitely check that out together. So I probably need to get some NDI gear. I need to get some Dante gear too. I really want to get more versed in Dante stuff. And so maybe that's something I need to just invest in. And like I could hook this thing up over Dante or whatever. So we could definitely get that done. So yeah, take care of yourselves, everybody. Really great to have you along for the ride. Hopefully you are doing well, and we'll see you next time. In a week, we'll go again. And thank you, Randy. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for being on the show with me. And like I said, guys, we'll touch base soon. So take care of yourselves. Take it easy. Bye. Hey, Chad, I might just do that.